Hi guys, and welcome to Vlogmas 2024. How are we already in December? I have no idea. This year has gone so quickly, but it's also the start of a brand new journey for me, and I am so excited to bring you along for it. So for those of you that haven't seen my last video, my autumn routine, where I actually announced this, we have got a new horse. They are here now, but today's video is all about the search for my new horse and also explain to you guys why we were even looking for a new horse. So we're going to go through the entire process, the full search, which had gone on for a couple of months, to be honest with you. We actually started considering a new horse around August time, and then when we had the sad news that Snip needed turning away in September was kind of when we finalised the decision. But anyway, we will jump into all of that right now. So I've just moved position for the wind, but let's get going with this because this could be a very long video if I don't get going. So let's start with the question that I know everyone is going to ask: why are you getting another horse? Now, I always get horse broody at this time of year. I bought Snip during autumn winter. I bought Percy at pretty much the same time last year. It's kind of when I have finished the season, I'm like, right, okay, planning next season. And the main reason that we're getting another horse is obviously because I don't believe that Snip will come back into work, if I'm being completely honest. We obviously cannot make that decision until next spring, but I also don't think that Snip, even if she does come back into work, will do sort of what I'm wanting to do with a horse now. If she does come back into work, we will not be selling her. Do not worry, guys. She is not going anywhere. She will just rejoin the family and just do whatever level she's happy with. I will never make a horse do more than they are capable of or what they're comfortable with. And that was also a big reason of getting this horse, because I feel like Percy is happiest at 80, 90. I would never dream of putting Percy at anything any bigger than 90 eventing. He is quite capable of jumping a metre, and I've jumped a metre with him at home and things, but I don't think, especially now that he's 15, he's up to competing at that level. So the main reasons were I wanted a horse that could take me up the eventing levels. That was the main reason for buying this horse. Something young, fit and ready to go with experience of higher levels than what I've done currently, to give me the confidence as well, because I am very much still learning this. So that was the main reason of getting another one. And I know I will get a lot of comments saying, well, you've got however many horses now. So we've actually got 5 at home, but bearing in mind 2 of those retired. One's an 11-hand pony, one's my mum's horse. So I actually have 1 horse to ride at home, who is Percy, who is on his winter break currently. So Percy is my main horse, as you guys know. I've evented him this season at 80 and we had a go at 90, but it was at the end of the season and he'd kind of, during summer, Percy kind of goes, oh, and like relaxes and goes very chill, and he just didn't quite have the oomph for the 90 this year. So we'll look at that next year. So I only had Percy to ride. Obviously Snip is now away on grass livery, she's been turned away. And also we have Charlie, who is out on full loan. For those of you that don't know Charlie, he is a traditional cob. He is such a sweetheart and he's been out on full loan now for over a year. So happy in his home. We'll never sell him, but he is out on loan. So although on paper we have a lot of horses, actually for me to ride we have 1. And obviously we lost Chili this year, and he was kind of my, if I wanted that big horse ride fix, I had Chill, and sadly we don't have Chili anymore. So that should hopefully answer people's questions on, you always get backlash as an influencer who buys a new horse when you have horses, and like people just say, right, the ones you've got, but it's not as easy as that. So I'm obviously wanted a horse for a job. I want to event. Now, as you guys know, my horses are my life. I don't see them as doing a certain job, and that is the main reason we're actually getting a new horse, because I don't want to push Percy. Percy has been really happy this season, running at 80 and stepping up to 90. You know, I think next season he will definitely probably run at 90. I think he'll be absolutely fine with that. But I'm already feeling myself looking at those higher levels. and he definitely cannot do above 90 competitively. You know, as I say, I can jump him at home over a metre and he's fine over the odd jump, but as soon as basically you get over 90, he starts knocking poles, he's not as confident, and he's 15, he's such a good horse and he's so talented that I don't want to then try and push him and have an injury, or try and push him and him lose any confidence, because that would just break my heart. He has given me everything. He has given me so much confidence and so much experience that I owe it to him not to push him any further than he's capable of or happy with. So that was my big thing. So we started the search and I'm going to give you the criteria of what we were looking for. So the search, so in a moment we're going to jump into the viewings, some of the different horses I went to try, but I also did a little bit of a diary cam of the process as well, so that will be going on throughout this, sort of explaining, because this has not been a straightforward search in the slightest. This has been going on for months. I've tried some incredible horses that just weren't right for me. I've had the viewings from hell. I've had failed vettings. I've put offers in on horses. Like, there's a lot has happened and there's a lot for me to cram into this video. But before we jump into all the viewings and the process, I just thought I'd let you know I didn't go to any private sales for my next horse. I wanted to get them from a reputable event rider or event producer. I definitely, because of what's happened in the past, I didn't want to go for private sales before, because it's very much a look of the draw. Like, you know, luckily with Percy, he was actually from private sale and they were super honest about him. They could not have been more honest, but that's not always the case. And I've been bitten by that before. So this time I went to the pros, and the first ones I actually went to view were, I think she's a 3-star event rider, and I didn't really know her, but I kind of heard of her, and she brings in a lot from Ireland to sell herself, so she's more on the dealer side than the event rider side, but she was quite local to me. So that is actually where I started the search, and that is where we are going to today. So the first viewing I went to was kind of a, let's see what's out there, let's see what you can get for your money, let's just go and have a look at these horses. So these horses didn't particularly like tip my criteria initially. Also, one thing I said as I was looking for a horse that was between 16 and 16.3. So this mare is a 16.3 Palomino. Can't remember her breeding. I think she was Irish sports horse. And she had ran at B100. I think she was a little bit older than what I was looking for, but I can't quite remember. It's been so long, guys. I'm so sorry. I should have done this voiceover when I actually went. But she was really, really lovely on the flat. I got on with her really, really well on the flat. Wasn't my horse to jump. Just wasn't my type. She was a really nice horse, and with the event rider on her, she jumped really nicely. With me, not as much. Just wasn't my horse. You know, some you click with and some you don't. So as beautiful as she was and as talented as she was, not for me. But they did also have a 5-year-old who had not actually evented at all, but had done a lot of schooling. So I thought, do you know what? Let's just give it a go. Let's see. And he was actually 16.2. So he was slightly smaller, but I felt so much more at home on him. Now, actually, funnily enough, when I first got on him in the pouring rain on a 5-year-old that I'd never sat on, I did feel a little bit uncomfortable. But actually, he was a lot more leg on the flat, which I preferred. Surprised me, because normally I hate a kick along, but he wasn't a kick along. He just needed a little bit more leg support. He was very well schooled for a 5-year-old. And I just, you know, sometimes you just sit on a horse and you feel much more at home than the last horse you were on. That is exactly how I felt with him. He was quite green, and he was definitely greener than what I was looking for. But to jump, I really, really liked him to jump. Really, really liked him. I just seemed to click with him really well. He was my sort of horse. The only thing that slightly put me off him was his age being so young, and the fact that he'd not actually done any BE. So I didn't have a record to go off. And also, he was quite chunky, and he was quite a chunky Irish sports horse. And I just thought, as he gets older and fills out, is he going to get almost too heavy for me? But he was very lovely. I really, really enjoyed riding him, and he definitely made me consider younger horses. So guys, sorry I look a bit shiny. I've literally just done my skincare for the evening. Completely forgot I hadn't filmed my diary cam for how the first viewing went. I'm sure I will do a full voiceover for you, but it was okay. I really liked the second horse, but I think he's going to be too heavy. The first one, I didn't like the way she jumped. But she was nice, but it gave me a very good idea of what I'm looking for and sort of what's on the market at the moment. So yeah, it was kind of just a taster of what is out there. Maybe I do need to look at something younger that maybe hasn't done as much as what I originally thought. Or maybe I just need to keep looking. But basically I have got in touch with my friend Danny, who's a 5-star event rider, and she's got some really nice 5-year-olds in that originally I wasn't going to look at, but I'm heading down south anyway for work, so I'm going to go have a little ride because I need to see Danny anyway. So yeah, we will see. And I've always wanted to ride one of Danny's horses. And then I've just put on Eventing UK that I'm down near Bristol tomorrow to see and put the criteria for the horse on. And Nikki Hill has also got in touch with me, who's another 5-star eventer, who has got one on sales livery as well. That's not on the market yet, so we'll go see that one as well. So yes, that is the plan for the next viewings. So sorry that this is in portrait, guys, but it was kind of a last minute thing. I hadn't really planned on filming all of this. So we went to go and see this chestnut mare. This one is 16 hands and a 7-year-old that has run at novice at Nikki Hill's. And I watched Nikki ride her and she seemed really nice. Definitely more of a fiery type to jump. So I was very excited to get on her, and she was very, very lovely. Really enjoyed riding her actually. Got on with her very well. And was really shocked actually. She definitely had some fire in her belly, and I was like, goodness me, she had a back end on her, a real back end. So I really enjoyed jumping her. She was so much fun. Definitely could not see a stride for my life. That's the only problem when you go from 15-hand pony strides to big, bold 16-hand horse strides. I definitely felt in every single one of these viewings like an imposter. Like I had the worst imposter syndrome searching for horses. I just felt like I couldn't ride. But actually looking back, it wasn't as bad as I thought. I'm so hypercritical of myself. So then we went from Nikki Yard to go and see my friend Danny, who had 2 beautiful 5-year-olds. Now the first one I got on, she had been running at B90 and she just was a little bit too green for me. So I said that to Danny, you know, she was beautiful and is going to be one of the most talented horses ever, I'm sure, just a little bit too green for me. And then I met this man. Yes, this is a different horse. All of Danny's horses are big and bay. So this is a very talented 5-year-old who I very, very much enjoyed riding. The only downside is that he does not have any BE experience. He doesn't really have any experience. He's very sort of a green 5-year-old. But my goodness, does he have a jump on him? Like, just look at this. He was just incredible. Again, could I see a stride? Absolutely not. But he was just so honest for a 5-year-old to come out and jump like this on someone who is literally throwing him at fences and not seeing a stride. I really enjoyed riding him as well. So it's been a few days since I went for the viewings with Nikki and Danny, 2 brilliant 5-star event riders with 2 very different horses. So there was the chestnut mare who was really lovely, got on with her really well, and had a fantastic record and had done everything I wanted her to have done. And then there was the incredibly talented bay gelding at Danny's who ticked all of the boxes to ride but then hadn't done anything, and now I'm really weighing up whether I go for experience or whether I take a gamble on a very talented youngster. So yeah, I'm now very confused. I have got some more viewings lined up. A couple I won't be filming, but I will show you a bay mare that I have found who I'm very excited about actually. I think she could possibly be a combination of the chestnut mare and the bay gelding. She's a little bit bigger than the chestnut mare, and I think possibly goes more like the bay gelding but has the experience of novice. So we're going to go see her very, very soon. So a little bit of an update for you all. So I thought I had found my dream horse. She was pretty perfect, to be honest. A 16 to 6-year-old who had ran novice this year. Really lovely horse, the right colour. She was a bay mare. And yeah, she was just very, very lovely. Super sort of straightforward, a little bit green, but amazing jump on her. Really sort of my sort of ride. So we put an offer in on her which got accepted, and then we arranged a vetting. Now annoyingly, the vets that we used could only do the back x-rays in-house, so we had to wait a week for her to get vetted because the person who she was on sales with, who was an event rider, could only take her on a certain day. So it's been quite a long, strung out process, whereas normally it's quite quick. Like normally, if I've put an offer in, I'll arrange the vetting pretty much as soon as possible. So yeah, we've been waiting all week for the vetting to come back, or for the vetting to happen. So I've been putting things in place. You know, I kind of stupidly assumed it would all be okay because she's a 6-year-old and she's not evented until this year. So like she's had a very low mileage, quiet life until this year. So yeah. And then the vet rang me yesterday to say that upon the first, so for a vetting, it's up to you how you do it. I do 5-stage vetting, which basically they do flexion tests, they check them on hard ground, they see them ridden, they see them on the lunge, they palpate, they check the horse all over, they check their conformation, all of that stuff, check their heart. That's all done in a vetting. And then on top of that, I always have x-rays done. So with Percy, I had feet, hocks, stifles checked. I didn't have his back checked because I palpated him, the vet palpated him. And I always say to the vet, when I'm having a vetting done, if there's any area of concern that you then want to do further x-rays with, give me a call, that's fine. So anyway, the vet rang me to say they'd done the vetting part, the 5-stage vetting part. And there were a few concerns. She was quite sore on her back. But you have to take things into account, like it wasn't her tack she was wearing for the last 6 months. It was the event rider's tack, so it wasn't her own fitted tack. She'd come into quite a little bit more work than what she'd done previously in the last few months, so stuff like that. A confirmation on her front feet, she was slightly inward, which I noticed anyway when I'd seen her, but I have an amazing farrier who, a little bit of remedial shoeing, not a problem. And also, no horse is perfect. Like, I am fully aware, I'm not one of these people that if a horse fails a flexion test, I wouldn't buy it. Like, I am very much aware that I wouldn't pass a vetting type of thing. Like, we all have our little quirks. Even my own horses, you know, have their own little quirks. Percy's left stifle, for example, he always carries that slightly shorter than his right one. It's just the way he is. It doesn't affect him in any way. So yeah, I'm never looking for perfection, but I'm just realistic and want to know what I'm dealing with. Anyway, vet rang me and was like, there's these little things, do you still want to go ahead with x-rays? I said yes, because when you've basically found the horse of your dreams, little things like that don't worry you. But the vet said we will x-ray her back first, given the soreness. I said that's absolutely fine. And then about half an hour later, I got a phone call back. So I knew it wasn't good. And unfortunately, this mare actually had severe kissing spine, which you would not have known at all. Like when I tried her, I rode her in the arena, I show jumped her, and I took her out cross country. No sort of signs for me riding her. She, you know, was literally a saint for it to do everything. And yeah, so just really quite shocked. and actually had 6 vertebrae that were like touching or almost touching. So yeah, literally pretty severe kissing spine, which is devastating news, to be honest, because I really liked her, and I think she'd have been perfect for me. But kissing spine is certainly something I'm not willing to take on. I'm not willing to do the surgery and go through rehab. We've had enough of rehab for the last 2 years with Snipperdoodle, which is part of the reason that I am, looking to get a horse vetted, and now I'm having pretty much everything x-rayed that I can, because I want to avoid any of these things. So unfortunately we did have to pull out the sale of that horse. I'm not going to buy a horse with kissing spine, especially for the job that I want to do. Like, it's just not fair on the horse and on me. So yeah, unfortunately that was a little bit of a downer. It did upset me a bit because I hate horse shopping. Honestly, like, I just don't like it. I don't like going to try horses. I don't like trying to find them because stuff like this happens and you do get disappointed. But we are back on the search today. Literally as soon as I got the call, I was like, okay, back on Horse Quest, because we are actually now getting to the end of October, and I was hoping that I would have my new horse by now. You guys aren't seeing the new horse straight away when they arrive anyway, so when this goes out, this should be December. So yeah, that's the current time frame. But basically we're back to search. We've got 2 to see today at an event rider's yard. The event rider actually owns the horses, so he's bought them as youngsters. He bought one that I'm really like, unbroken from the breeder, and he's broken this one himself and brought it on, and that one's competing at BE 100. The other one, I think he bought as a 3-year-old, it's now 6, and I think pretty much he's brought this one on. I don't think he broke that one. So I did a super in-depth update earlier. I was going to talk to you all about the viewing I had planned today, and what happened with the previous horse that I wanted to buy. And then today I have had the viewing from hell. And I've had viewings from hell before, but yeah, this one was next level actually. And yeah, I went today. One was 5, one was 7. So obviously expecting the 5-year-old to be green. And the guy got on him and rode him, and he did look like really nice. He was definitely a lot smaller in person and like really narrow. I don't know, he looked nothing like his photos. I felt like I was being catfished by an ad. But a very nice horse, no less. And the guy rode him lovely. I got on him and he just wasn't my ride. He had really like, I don't know, his paces weren't for me. I just kept feeling like I couldn't gel with him, that I couldn't get comfortable on him. Like, it was really weird. And I just think it just was, his style of riding was so different to my style of riding, because he had broken both of these horses. And I think, when you can tell a horse has only ever been ridden by one person, and if you're not that one person, you can't ride them almost. It was very much that. So the first one, I didn't even jump. I just said, look, he's lovely. I think he's maybe a bit too green for me. Like, he just wasn't, the basics weren't there that I needed. Like, he had a beautiful jump on him, but like, when I asked him to move away from my leg, nothing happened. When I sort of asked him to come round a bit more in the way that you should ask a horse, nothing happened. And obviously I accept you need to learn how to ride a horse. Like, they're not a machine, they're all different. But it was very different to my style of riding. So yeah, the first one I was absolutely gutted about because he was the colour I wanted. And he was beautiful, but not what I expected also. So him, I didn't even jump because I was like, look, not my horse. I could tell within 10 minutes, not my horse, unfortunately. So then we went and saw a chestnut mare, which I also did not want a chestnut mare. But one thing I've realised from trying to buy a horse is you have no choice. You have no choice in the colour or gender of it if you're looking for specifics for their ability. Like, you've just kind of got to go with it. So yeah, then we brought out the Cheshire mare, who was a lot bigger and quite long. She was quite sort of almost gangly, and she went better on the flat. Like, I gelled with her a bit more. Her movements weren't quite as big in the shoulders, so I didn't feel like I was like constantly struggling to get back into my seat. The jumping, however, I didn't see him jump her before. I just got straight on her, and yeah, I nearly came off, like very nearly. So we went over a very small jump, she cat leaped it, and I got catapulted out the saddle, and then I came to a bigger jump thinking, right, you know, bigger jump, she won't cat leap this, and literally she like cat leaped it, but with all 4 legs like in different directions, and I fully came out of the saddle, and you know, you're just thinking, I felt like I couldn't ride at all. So yeah, that was kind of the viewing from hell. We left really quickly. Like, I thanked the guy for his time, and I did appreciate his time, and you know, maybe they are nice horses for someone who rides very differently to me, but they just weren't for me at all, which is a big shame. They had both run at 100, but like this year for the first time, so they were definitely more green than I thought they were going to be. So again, it's been a little bit of a meh day. I was really excited to go and see 2 horses at one yard. I thought, you know, I'm going to like one of them. Did not like either of them. They're actually 2 of the worst viewings we've had this time looking for a horse. Like, neither of them fit the bill in any way, really. Which is a shame, and they were nice horses, and the guy who showed me them was so lovely. But yeah, it was not good. And now I am chasing someone. Now I'm chasing someone to try and get a viewing, and they're not replying. Well, but they've just replied, and the one I want to view has just had a physio, and she doesn't want me to see it, and I'm like, okay. Honestly, I hate buying horses. So there you go. I told you it was an up and down process. There was so much we went through on the search for my next horse. But which one do you think I have bought? So one of the horses I have featured in today's video is the horse that I have brought home. They are here. They have actually been here for a month, and I have kept it so quiet. So let me know in the comments below which one you think I bought. Which one would you have bought? I love people's different opinions. Everyone has so many different opinions on horses, and the horse they want and what they want from a horse, and the horse that they fall in love with. I have very much fell in love with this horse, but I also fell in love with some other horses on the way. I cannot lie. Like, this has been the most non-easy search. That makes no sense. This has been the most complicated horse search I think I've ever done, and I was so close to giving up so many times, but I'm so glad I didn't, because my new horse is here now. They've settled so well, and for every other day in Vlogmas, I'm going to be featuring them on my channel. So on the 3rd of December will be the grand unveiling. You only have a day and a bit to wait now. So Tuesday, the 3rd of December, you will find out who my horse is, you'll get to meet them, and I'll tell you all about them. And then every other day during December up to Christmas, I will be producing a video on them, on their journey with me, from the minute they arrived, their first sit-on, to their first training sessions. You guys are seeing everything, every single part of this process, and I cannot wait to bring you onto the next chapter of my riding journey. There's also some very exciting things happening in New Year, so even if you're not a Vlogmas person, make sure you subscribe, get those notifications on, and I'll see you all soon to reveal my new horse.